everybody? Back to another episode of Occult 45, coming at you live and direct. You already know this is Evan D in sunny Florida. I have with me here leader in the Flat Earth movement, creator of the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. We're questioning the mainstream bullshit story that we're all being fed. And my fellow Connecticut brother, Mr. David Weiss. Welcome to Occult 45. How are you?
Evan, thanks for having me on. You're in Florida. That's a plus. You got my name of my app right. Very few people do that. It's a win-win today. So here we go.
Right on, man. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Big fan of your work. Yeah, man. All the questions we're asking in your videos are just something that we all need to be opening our eyes to. What we're being told is all straight bullshit, and I just want more people to see this. How did you arrive to the Earth that we're on being flat?
I was into conspiracies, and I was doing a conspiracy podcast out of New York City, and people started sending me flat Earth stuff, and I deleted it and banned them from our social media for being so stupid. And then I was forced to look, probably just like you. I'm probably telling the same story that you had. You heard about it. You go, that's dumb. You're an idiot. And then you were forced to look, and you went in with the negative attitude to debunk it. That's how it happened to me. And that's how you become a flat earther. You don't become a flat earther by hearing someone say the earth is flat. You become a flat earther by trying to disprove flat earth, or better, prove the globe. And there's no proof of the globe, as you know.
Absolutely. I mean, just using my common senses that we all have. I mean, standing where I'm standing, I do not feel a spinning.
Well, that's because the Earth is too big in gravity.
Well, right, and that brings us to the people who get so furious when we bring this topic up. It's just they hit you with there's gravity, and there's pictures from NASA and all this bullshit, and it's just crazy talk, man. I mean, we really have no idea.
Yeah, here's some pictures. Which one do you like? I like this one. I'm a blue marble guy.
Right on. That one in the middle is pretty colorful.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's got some nice oranges and cool clouds. Yeah. And if you think about the official story, listen to this. The official story on the way they took the pictures for the blue marble, they were taken in strips. So the satellite is going around the Earth, and it's taking multiple strips, right? Now, you've seen how fast clouds morph, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this thing went around again and again and again, and all the clouds kind of all stitched together perfectly. By the time it came around again, that cloud wouldn't even be anywhere there. It would be a whole mishmash of clouds. But somehow you got these beautiful brushstrokes of clouds. When I say brushstrokes, I mean that's what they are, brushstrokes.
Right.
Think about that.
Yeah. Literally airbrushed composite photos.
Yeah.
Cartoons.
It makes no sense whatsoever. The idea of doing strips of data. I mean, it comes around and it gets a little 1 inch right here, and then it comes around again and it gets the next inch. Well, how does it have this continuous line? Does that cloud just wait for every night? If it's going the speed of the International Space Station, it takes 90 minutes to come around. Okay, 90 minutes later, the clouds aren't going to be where they were before. 1 minute later, they're not going to be there. So I've actually never brought that up. I just thought about it the other night at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I woke up. I'm like, whoa, that doesn't make any sense. And so, I don't sleep. So that's that right there proves that this is nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all theater in my eyes.
It is theater.
Yeah, it's just crazy talk, I mean, these images that they're showing us, there's no way. And as a kid too, I always thought, like, how did these people know? Like, they're telling us the sun's 90 million miles away and all this, and I just always was like, that just meant, like, how do they know? Like, You know,
Yeah,
I was always asking myself that.
and when you look up at the sky and you look at the sun, it's right there. Look at the moon. The moon is easier to tell because the sun is hard to stare at, and you're like, you got all this crazy stuff. But the moon, you look at it, and the moonlight, when there's a full moon, lights up just the clouds that are near it, and then the clouds off in the distance aren't lit up. Well, try to get a flashlight and just light up a small spot on your wall from across the room. Right? You want to light a small spot on the wall. If your wall is all clouds, you got to bring the light right near it. So the moon that we see, it's right there, right up in our sky. And there's during the day, the dark spots, which some call craters, are blue, and at night they're black. Weird stuff, right?
Very weird, indeed. Very weird. Yeah, I mean that's one thing I always say too. Like, I mean, just look up. Like, you can. It is right there. There's no way that these objects are that far away, like they're telling us. And that brings us to the planets, the stars being within our enclosed system. You know, I think it is just one. Space is not what they're telling us, and the stars and the planets are within this domain, this dome.
What do you think the stars are?
I really don't have an answer, man. I
That's
think
the best answer.
yeah, exactly. I have no idea.
Wait a minute. If
They
you don't know what the stars are, flat Earth debunked. Earth is a globe because, because we're told that they're burning balls of gas in a space vacuum. Now think about that. That's impossible. And they're so far away, but their light just travels to us, remains as intense as it does for trillions and trillions and trillions of miles. It's
yeah,
maddening. It's maddening at this point.
it is insane. I mean, there's some type of luminary that is circling what we're on. They're moving above us. Some type of distant luminary, but not as distant as they want us to think.
I wish somebody would do it again. I'm not in the right location to send up a balloon. You got to do it out west, in Arizona, or was it Arizona? I think it was Arizona, New Mexico, Arizona, I think. Some guys set up a balloon at night with the cameras looking up, and before it took off, you could see all the stars, bright as can be. And as it goes up in the heliocentric model, those stars should get more plentiful and brighter. Even though it was a clear night, it should just get clearer as you get through the thickest part of the atmosphere. But when it hit 50, 60,000 feet, all the stars were gone.
Very strange, man.
Very strange.
Very strange.
That tells you that it doesn't tell us what it is, but it does tell us a lot. And it's that we're not looking at burning balls of gas in a space vacuum, millions of miles away. Right?
Absolutely. The image behind you, that's a close up
of Capella, I think. That's one of my favorites. That one, on a clear night with your naked eye, you can see this stuff going on, right? But with a super zoom P900 or P1000, you can zoom in on it. And, people say that's out of focus. It's in You know what? There's a benefit of seeing things out of focus. This, to me, looks pretty damn in focus. All right. But whatever it is, it's not a burning ball of hydrogen.
No, it looks very psychedelic to me. Very, right. Very DMT-esque in the way, in the flat. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, man. And they tell us they tell us gravity's holding us down, holding our feet to the earth. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, that doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to show you what is going on here. Oh, that's the problem. This is getting back to the stars. This is space from the moon, and this is space from Earth. Okay, this is stars. It should be the opposite. Okay, right. It should be 1,000 times brighter on the moon, but they can't fake it, so they just give us black, and they go, "Oh, the aperture." The aperture on our cameras that, NASA gets $65 million a day. They can't get a camera that has a good enough aperture to deal with the light Meanwhile, I could stand under a streetlight and focus with my iPhone on a star behind the streetlight.
Right.
Okay. And the aperture has no problem seeing that star.
Right. Just crazy.
So you were asking about gravity. Gravity. Which gravity are we talking about? Are we talking about the Einsteinian gravity or the Newtonian gravity? Because they keep changing their
I
their
mean,
story.
just if we were to ask a modern day physicist, Neil deGrasse Tyson, let's say, I mean,
You mean a failed actor? Go ahead.
right, exactly. They just say big words to make people think they're talking about something legitimate, and it's just crazy talk. I mean, they don't even have a clue.
They have no clue of what gravity is.
Right.
Now they need 96% of it to be dark matter and dark energy to make up for what the part that doesn't work. So if I gave you a test of 100 multiple choice answers, if you get 96 of them wrong, you're still correct because it's gravity. It allows for that. You can make up nonsense for the 96 and you still pass. You still get an A. And anybody that says anything different, well, they get sent to the principal's office because that's not in the book. It's ridiculous.
Right.
So there is a little debate within the flat Earth researchers, which I think is great and healthy, about what is gravity. Is there a force or is there not a force? Some people say buoyancy and density are all you need, right? Helium balloon goes up, rocks and marbles and ping pong balls go down. The ping pong balls float on water, the rocks go to the bottom of the pool, all because of buoyancy and density, right? So that makes sense. That works with gravity and with not gravity. However, if I had a handful of rocks and I open my hand, they're going to fall down. Well, how do they know which way is down? Well, the earth is here. But what if I snap my fingers and the earth disappeared and I opened the hand? Which way are the rocks going to go? How are they going to know which way's down? And so in my book, and many people that have thought about this, there has to be something that says, hey, down is this way, down is this way. And so how can we test that? The earth, no conspiracy theory, has a negative charge to it. We live in this electrical system, and the earth has a negative charge to it, and the sky has a positive charge. And anything that leaves the earth is now inside that positive field. And that negative charge of the earth, which does not move, the earth doesn't rise, doesn't go left or right, it stays right where it is. It says, hey, down is this way. And anything above the earth in the air, which is fluid, it's like, well, they're much easier to move. And it's like, down is this way. It's a weak force. Okay. And then buoyancy and density sort everything else out from there. Right. And some people have a hard time with that, which at this point, I don't fully understand that, but that's all right. We all know it's not gravity doing it. It's not the bending, warping of space time. So one way we can test that is, how do we overcome that negative charge? Well, we add a negative charge to this tinfoil triangle and it goes up. Am I defying gravity or am I defying the negative downward charge, pull or attraction of the earth?
Wow.
Right?
Right.
It's called, what is it called? It's called an incoherent electrostatic acceleration. Incoherent electrostatic acceleration. That's the technical term for it, but you don't even need to know that. Earth has got a negative charge. We can show you that it floats, when you add a negative charge to something. We also we also have done other experiments. Let me see if I can pull this one up. And let me see if this is the one. So this is a Van de Graaff generator, and he's got it hooked up to this plate here, if I'm looking at the right one. Right. And so here he's got different things from sawdust, human hair, pieces of paper. And when you crank up the negative charge here, things start going up, not just metal, but like sawdust. And, this is a very weak charge. Hairs are going up. Well, that again is support of a downward force. What do you think about that? You there? Did you freeze? You froze. You froze. I'll wait.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, wait, hold on. You froze for the last 30 seconds
oh, I'm sorry. It says internet connection unstable.
on your end.
Is it okay now?
It's perfect right now.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. I know negatively. I know walking on the earth barefoot can literally heal your body.
It does. We are electric beings, and when you walk on the earth barefoot, you're getting these free electrons in your body. Everything's electric, right? And the sun is sending electricity here, not photons. It's sending electricity. That's how solar panels capture the electricity, and the electricity makes the plants grow and makes us grow. We're electrical beings. All the movements in our body are electrical impulses. Our heart isn't pumping blood around our body. It's charging the blood so it has the energy to circulate. I always wondered, like, how does your heart pump and move blood from your little toe? Like, how does it keep the pressure? I mean, things would be popping all the time, and it's literally an electrical charge in your blood that makes it flow.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're constantly receiving these electrical frequencies from the sun and downloading information into our body. So yeah, man. These NASA studios. I mean,
what do you mean NASA studios? Everything they show us is real.
Just the video that they want us to believe is real. It's just such CGI and such.
There's no such thing as CGI, man. Everything is real.
Right. Oh, that's just a movie, right?
Yeah.
No shit. Yeah. Yeah. So they want us to believe these videos they show us on the International Space Station, floating in anti-gravity. They want us to think that they're up there in space, doing all these anti-gravity things. I mean, it's clearly theater. It's we see the glitches happen in their systems.
So many glitches. So these are everybody. They're all flipped around. I don't know. They're hanging from harnesses. But on the table, you have fruit sitting, right? What the hell's going on here, right? And nothing would sit. Everything would be floating around. I watched today the Chinese space station, which is clearly just a 0G plane, and everything they show is, every clip is under a minute. And I even caught them where they're talking really fast. They're doing things as fast as they can, and then they slow it down so they have longer clips, right? They slow it down. So they're flipping around, they're doing all this stuff, and they got kids. They're transmitting to a classroom of kids, and they're doing tricks with water because that's all they do for $65 million a day is tricks with water, and it's just brainwashing the next generation of children.
Absolutely. I mean, and these people have a gigantic budget, 65 million, like you said, per day of our money that they're using to propel this lie even more than it already is, and it's pretty crazy shit.
Right, and then they use actors like Will Smith talking to the space station, asking silly questions. Where do you go to the bathroom? Does anybody had sex in space? Right. Then always at the end, they go up, but how come they never show us the ceiling when they go up? Like, what's up there? All right, the guy's now watch. Now he comes in. He faded in. They faded him in. Watch again. I'll show you again. When he comes in, watch his head. I got to go on backwards here. It becomes transparent right there. You see it?
Yeah.
So he's faded in.
Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah. Why are they doing that? And it's supposed to look like, like it's happening in real time. And Will Smith is like, oh man, so cool. The space. I love space.
All right. Just another shill Hollywood puppet, man.
Yeah. And they have these fade outs all the time. Like you've seen this guy's elbow. They've had to fade out before he takes the corner because this was done on a 0G plane. And there is no turn on a 0G plane. So he's literally just ducking behind this little crop on the wall. And they had to fade him out right at the end there, and you can see through his arm. Fade out. Amazing. And then, you've seen the
Okay, I'm
trolls.
back. I'm back.
Oh, you were gone. You were gone
Yeah,
again.
yeah. I was froze for a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, there's so many. Oh yeah. So here, I'll show you. You may have seen this, but I'm going to do it again. Some people say, the tour of the space station, a guided tour, it's impossible to do that. The girl's flipping around, going this way, that way. But this is how they do it. She doesn't move. She just goes like this, right? And she's floating through the space station, right? So I'm going to go all the way over to down this hallway, and I'm floating down here, right? Floating. And now if they turn the camera, I could go upside down. Let me look out the window, right? Turn around. And it's all nonsense, right? Go up to the second level, right? I could fly like Superman. Right? Up.
Wow.
Right? And this is, but they have it with virtual reality contact lenses, and they're looking at screens. So when they move, they're not moving their body, they're moving the space station through them. Just like I'm moving the house through me. Like if I go like this, if I push, I didn't time it right. There you go, push, and then I go this way, right?
Right.
I'm not moving, but it looks like I'm moving.
Right.
And that's how they do it. And people, it's such a simple trick. And then they have augmented reality objects, where they're moving little things around that are digital, right?
Right, and I mean, the technology these people are using is, it's the best of the best. I mean, this is they spend their everything on this,
right? And they've given us nothing in all of these years, and all of that money, they've given us nothing other than supposedly memory foam, which didn't come from them, and Velcro, which also didn't come from them.
Right. Absolutely, man. Crazy. So yeah, man, they tell us. I mean, they tell us in the movies. They tell us what's going on. I mean, a quote from the Truman Show with Jim Carrey is, "We accept the reality of the world we're presented." A lot of people.
Absolutely, that's truth in the movies all the time.
And people are just blind to it. They say, those are just movies. You watch too many movies. They tell us what's going on in these movies. They show us.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So. But yeah, man, it is. They tell us where the Earth is. 66,600 miles an hour.
It's traveling 66,600 miles an hour spiraling around around the sun. 66,600 miles an hour, right? So we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. We're orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour. We're chasing it at 500,000 miles per hour. And all of these are curved motions. People go, well, if you're on an airplane, you can drink a glass of water and you don't feel it. I say, take the shell off the airplane, because you're not in a shell on the surface of the ball Earth. Increase the speed, double, and make it go around a corner, because that's what we're doing all the time when we're spinning. So you can be in a car 100 miles an hour. You got a plate of water. And as soon as that car starts turning, that's acceleration. That water is going left. It's going right. We have, all of these motions going on, which are unbelievably fast, right? This is a hypersonic sled, Mach 8.6. You won't even be able to see it go by. Here it comes, and there it goes.
Crazy fast.
And we're orbiting 10 times faster than that, okay? Right. We're orbiting, and we're chasing the sun 100 times faster than that. And then when we go outside, we see this. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the failed actor and liar, he says the water bulges at the equator 14 miles high. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at a lake like is on the screen now for our audio only listeners. The lake is just still. I mean,
It's a
that would not
glass.
be. It
It's
would
a
not.
mirror.
Yeah, it would not be like that if we were moving like the way that they say we are.
Or if the earth was curved, large bodies of water at rest, you curve, you there it when when you curve water, it won't reflect anything. You'll just see a point, right? But we see the sun walking across the water all the way to us at sunset. We see mountains in the distance perfectly reflected. Crazy.
Very crazy. Very
It's
crazy.
it's it's what blows me away. It's the programming that people have. I mean, from your and I point of view, because we've taken the time, we've thought, we've used our common sense, and we've discarded the nonsense. It's hard to fathom how anybody could think we live on a ball, and they look at us as we're nuts. Flat Earth, right? They're so hypnotized they can't see how absurd their beliefs are, right? Beliefs are the enemy of knowing, right? Believing is easy. Guy in a bow tie who lies told me. Okay, well, I believe him. Well, let's see some proof. There's no proof of anything for the ball.
Yeah, I mean there really is zero proof. We're going once you realize we are listening to these authoritative figures that are, I mean, who is it? NASA. Who's NASA? Straight up Nazis. I mean, Operation Paperclip. We brought all those Nazi scientists over here and to work for us.
Well,
And
that's the official story, right? If you look at it,
well,
that is the official story. I don't know if I believe any of it. The founders of NASA are Aleister Crowley, who's the most wicked man in the world. You got Hubbard of Scientology, Walt Disney cartoon animator, Werner von Braun, ex-Nazi, and Jack Pearson's just another occultist. Okay, what? These are the guys that are running NASA. This is a wizard pack of wizards. Okay, and the whole moon landing and space and everything. It's a wizard's trick to imprison the human race, and it's working amazingly well.
absolutely, absolutely. And picking out one of those people on that list, we go to Warner von Braun. He is the author of Project Mars,
Yeah.
his book, which talks about these people on Mars being the Elon.
Elon is
Um,
the head of the colony that went to Mars, and here's Elon with his rocket, which he wants to make it pointier. And here's Project Mars. By the way, I think they changed the cover of this magazine, of this book now, and it took the rocket off of it. Right?
wow.
I think they're like literally, I don't know, Mandelaing it, or they're just changing it. And soon the rocket will never have existed.
Right.
They're changing because too many people are saying, wait a minute, that's absurd. In 1957, a Nazi wrote a book about going to Mars by a guy named Elon, and now we have Elon, the guy that's supposedly taking us to Mars. That's ridiculous.
Kind of fucking fishy.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Right. Kind of weird.
And of course, not Elon's, Werner's gravestone has Psalms 19:1 talking about the firmament. Okay, that's weird. Weird, is that the right word?
I mean, it's beyond weird, and that's what I was just gonna bring up too. It's on his gravestone. It's pointing you to look in this area that talks about the firmament. I mean, they're telling us right there. He's trying to tell us something there.
Yeah.
You know,
NASA
and
is pure evil.
exactly, and that image on the screen is straight up them. It's a coiled snake with a NASA symbol there. I mean, that is NASA. They are nothing but snakes and liars.
Right, and it's
Um,
mockery too. Truth in the movies, lies in the news, and we got Space Force. Huh? What does that look like? Star Trek Space Command. It's the same thing. And this little symbol is in all the space agency logos. It's called the vector symbol. It has some occultic meaning, and they're all in it together. if NASA was faking it, Russia would rat us out. No, they're all in it together. You go to Russia, Russia's like, yep, we were the first to space. We orbited the Earth, first man, first animal, first everything. You go to America, like, oh, we went to the moon first. Russia's like, stupid Americans went to the moon. We're like, stupid Russians didn't go to the moon. Everyone thinks they won, right? And it's all about division. It's all about loyalty to your nation state. It's all about becoming, remaining in this prison for your mind. The globe is a prison for your mind. Some people say, well, the flat earth is a prison too, because we're inside of a dome. Well, I don't think so. I personally believe that we can get beyond the dome. I personally believe there's a lot more extra land, extra territory, extra terra. Okay. And who knows what's beyond there? We're at the center of creation. That doesn't sound like a prison. There's more land beyond Antarctica. That sounds like we're being guarded from leaving this prison that we're in, but there's more here and they don't want us to know it.
Well, right, and that brings us directly into, Antarctica. None of us are allowed down there. Nobody's allowed to go exploring there. They don't want us doing experiments down there, and they're guarding it pretty heavily. What are our thoughts on this?
They have there's buoys all the way around, creating a mesh network. So any boat that goes in between, that goes within it, immediately can be stopped. And the globe trollers will go, well, if it's 60,000 miles around, how are they going to guard that? I'm like, you ever hear of radar? You ever hear of military bases? Right? Here's some guys that were fishing, and they decided to push the limit a little bit. And they went over past where they're supposed to be, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there comes a Navy ship. Speed it up a little bit. This puppy pulls up, radios them. You're in restricted waters. Leave the area immediately. They send a drone after them. Okay, they can't even see Antarctica. They're nowhere near it, and they're being told to turn around and go away. Okay, and there's 7 islands, 7 or 8. Basically equally spaced all the way around. The Falkland Islands is one of them, and there's a whole bunch which have military bases on them run by the Crown and the United Nations, and they keep people away from Antarctica.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's because all the penguins, right?
Yeah, you got to protect the penguins.
Right.
Meanwhile, the story of the Antarctic Treaty was, they discovered this pristine land and pristine ice, and they have to protect the penguins. When environmentalism wasn't even a word, they have to protect it. Meanwhile, we could burn down the Amazon. But I was watching some old 1940s videos about exploration of Antarctica, and the narrator, as they're on like one of the boat trips, they're like, and off the bow, we have a school of pilot whales. And there was a whole bunch of whales. And it goes, each one of them has valuable oil worth over $2,000 each. Okay. Just like that's what he saw. Right. And they're talking about, we had the Antarctic Treaty a couple of years later to protect the penguins. But he's like, each whale is worth $2,000 for their oil. Okay. None of this wraps up. None of this makes any sense whatsoever.
Not at all. Not at all. There's definitely something down there they don't want us knowing. And you talk about the extra terra, the land beyond Antarctica. I do think that Antarctica could be the shoreline to what we live on. You go to Antarctica, that's just the shore, the ice shore. Beyond that, there is other lands, and that is right.
Again, that's speculation, but I'm with you. I'd bet money on it. Give me 100 to 1 odds against there not being land. I'll take it. I believe there is more land out there, and there's lots of stories about it. And even they're in the early 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s, people were talking about it. People were writing stories about it. Check out the Iron Republic. I tell people to read or listen to online. The Iron Republic, amazing. Maybe there is, and think about it. Extraterrestrials, more terra, land, territory, extraterrestrials from where? We live here. They live in the outer area. extraterrestrials from outer space coming from 5,000-10,000 miles away. That's it. Okay, maybe 20,000, depending on where you're going. Okay, not billions and trillions of miles. None of that makes any sense. A trillion miles. Okay, that's ridiculous. A trillion miles is nonsensical. 3,600 miles a minute or an hour? 3,600 miles an hour. That's a mile a second. It would take you 31,000 years to go 1 trillion miles. All right. That's 1/25th of the way to the closest star. And all of the other ones are magnitudes farther. Give me a break. Right.
Come on.
And you couldn't see, you could scientifically prove that you can't see that. All right. As a light moves away, its light has to cover a bigger area. So if a light has, 100 lumens, if I'm holding a 100 lumen light right here, when I move it here, well, that 100 lumens is going to spread out. So now you're only looking at 25 lumens, right? And if I move it farther away, it's covering a much bigger area. It gets, every time you double the distance with light, it's 1/4 of the brightness. Well, those stars you wouldn't be able to see them no matter what size they were at a couple of miles away, a couple of light hours away. And meanwhile, they tell us they're light years away.
Right. Much closer than they're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a union electrician. I worked at the Blue Origin project out in Cape Canaveral, and I was watching the rockets go up, and they don't go straight up. They go up, they curve, and then they go wherever they go. They go land in the ocean somewhere. It's just I mean, I think it's all a big yeah, they're launching these things sometimes, but they're not going to where they're saying they're going.
Right. So how close were you when the Blue Origin took off?
Well, I was there building it before it took. I wasn't there when it took off, but
of course not. Of course not.
Right, exactly.
Right. It's so ridiculous. And again, this is the launch. 2 cuts, right? Every time. How many movie edits are there? 3, or that's 2, depending on where you count. 3. It says edit, 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 edit. And now the thrust coming out of this thing, it would destroy everything. It's lifting up millions of pounds. There's a little error right there. So this isn't real. This is just not real, period. It's not real. And anyone that thinks it is lost their minds. And think about this, when William Shatner went up on Blue Origin, okay? Right. He's coming down, right? 93-year-old man, however old he is, right? This is fake right here. And then he slams into the ground. Could you handle that impact? Would you break your back? Right?
Absolutely, dude.
You probably had memory foam, so it's probably not that bad, right? But slams it. No ambulances, no doctors. They just pull up with a freaking camera and a ladder and a red carpet, and they come out. They're like, "Oh, it was so awesome!" At any event, I used to run a kids' carnival at the school. We have to have an ambulance there, okay? At a carnival, all right? And this is a 90-some-odd-year-old man slamming into the middle of the desert after being slungshot into space. No medical, no nothing. Everyone's fine. What a joke.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody just believes this shit. Like, oh, yeah, there it is. It's on
so
TV.
Many people would have to be in on it, Like, no friggin' way. No friggin' way. There are a lot of people in on it, but not as many as you think. These people, they're all in on it. Right? These people are probably not even on a 0G plane. They're just in a studio hanging from wires. Shatner, he's not even floating. He's just kneeling there going, oh, so cool, so amazing. Right? And the stuff they have floating around are CGI objects. It's it's horribly done. Horribly.
It really is. I mean, looking at the videos we have on screen here, it's very, very fake. You can see it. You can use your own eyes and tell that this is bullshit film.
Right. And they're always mocking us all with these sexual things. Virgin Atlantic versus Blue Origin. I don't know. Kind of looks like they're, the male and female private parts. I don't think that's a coincidence, but, that's just me, Mr. Conspiracy Theorist.
Yeah, I don't think so. I
And
mean,
and when Richard Branson went up, they always have a girl with long blonde hair flipping around. Look at my hair, right? Anyone going into space would have a frigging crew cut. Okay, looking in the army, they don't let pilots. They're all clean cut and everything, but they always have somebody flipping around. Richard Branson, this is a zero G plane. It looks like he's about to throw up, so he's buckled in because he can't handle it. And that's all it was. It was filmed in a zero G plane, and then they landed him on a glider, and he went out and shook the press's hands, and faked it. This is all they did. They were supposedly having zero gravity for 4.5 minutes up there, but we don't get any clips longer than 5 seconds. Where's the uninterrupted, unedited video of them floating around other than the 5 seconds of frantic moving around? Look at my hair. Look at me. I'm flipping around. They couldn't get more than 5 seconds.
right. Let's see the whole cut there. Exactly.
Yeah. Cut. That's all it is. It's all a bunch of nonsense.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, red. I saw in your video, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
They seem to know what's going on.
They tell you right in all these Hollywood music
Yeah.
stuff. It's all in there. It's all in there.
Yeah.
Um,
Go ahead.
yeah, going back to the 66,600 miles per hour orbit around the sun. That's kind of a strange number. Pretty satanic, man. You can see it right there. 666.
Yeah. It's there's so many 666s. If you look at it's the tilt of the earth is 66.6 degrees, which is, the inverse of that is 20, 23 or 20, whatever, 30. What is it? The tilt 66. That would be 34 degrees tilt, 34.4, whatever it is. My brain is short circuiting, but there's so many of these 666s. They're everywhere. Okay. They're everywhere. And, how did they do that? I don't know how this world works, but signs, symbols, and numbers rule the world. So this is literally a demonic system that we're in, the Helio Sinister trick soul lure system. They're literally trying to steal your soul, which is the currency of this world, in my opinion.
Absolutely, man. These black magic masters, dark wizards, controlling our mind. And I've heard you say on other shows, it's not the shape that matters, it's the lie that matters. Because if they can get you to believe that we're on a spinning ball going through a giant space vacuum, they can get you to believe anything.
That is 100% true. They, if you believe that that we're on this, spinning ball flying through a space vacuum, you're lost in space. You're not connected to the ground, right? Now, there are people that do believe that are doing pretty well, but their true potential is limited. Everyone's true potential is limited if you believe this sinister trick. And one of the main goals of it is to hide the creator. They don't want you in a position where you can't deny the creator. And I tell people like, well, who's the creator? I'm like, that's your own journey. Everyone has to figure that out. Okay. And whatever you figure out, whatever your relationship is with the creator, that's fine. Whatever it is, right? It's not my business. But there's no questioning that there is a creator once you understand that we live in this amazing, fantastic designed system that has so much beauty and so much abundance and so much possibility. They don't want you knowing that. They don't want you knowing that. And once you know it and they can't take it away, they lose control over you.
Exactly. Once you realize, open your mind to the fact that we were put in this intelligently designed place by something we don't see them as the highest up anymore. We're like, okay, forget you guys. Who are those guys out there? Like who might have put us here or who might have designed this place? I mean, that just they lose all the control, like you just said.
100%.
Yeah, man. Sick shit.
And have you looked into our past, into Tataria?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, these ancient peoples, this ancient civilization that was here at one time that had technology that's way beyond what we have now. And we did nothing more than refurbish what was already here.
100%. I mean, we're supposed to believe horses and buggies filled this in. And I'm learning more and more about it. And I'll tell you, on you have my app, I assume, because you pronounced it right, unlike everybody else.
Yeah, yeah.
On the app, if you hit the web button, up comes all of these playlists. But the one on the right in the middle there, Mud Floods Tataria, right now at the time of this recording, you hit that. These top 3 are absolutely amazing, like well-funded, well-researched, amazing about our history. And then just start going through the list. Bring food and water if you hit this button, because you're going to get lost. You're going to go, wow, that channel is really good. Then you're going to go to that channel. You're going to subscribe. You're going to find more videos. So
you're just going to be lost.
Yeah. So there's so much there. But once you understand the true, once you understand that everything we've been taught about the past is 1,000%, which is impossible. It can only be 100, a lie. It's just 1,000% a lie. It's such a lie. It's unfathomable. And I think that there was I know there was some reset, some disaster, natural, God-made, man-made, alien-made, whatever. There was a massive destruction of this world where mud went everywhere. And when the survivors came out of it, there was people that remembered the truth of this world, and they went and conquered all of these nations that the people had just kind of moved into the buildings that survived and inherited them. And the big buildings, the crazy buildings, were the ones where people moved in. I think that maybe the royal family were just some peasants that moved into that building and said, we're kings now. Okay. And that's literally how it happened. So, and then they decided, we want to take over the world. We want to take over the world. We don't want anybody, we want to rule the friggin' world. And that's what they do.
Absolutely, man. And this history is just overwritten and overlooked by everybody. They take us when we're young. They put the globe at the front of the classroom. Look, this is what it is. Oh my God, space. Oh, look at dinosaurs. Like this is what it was. And I don't believe any of that anymore. And they take us when we're in middle school. They bring us to DC. I went on that trip. I was in 8th grade.
I did too.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that the other day, and I'm like, wow, they really brought us there. And those buildings, I'm like, why were they built like this? Who's going in these? Those buildings were built like for giants, I think. I mean, it's insane. It's insane.
It really is. It really is. The indoctrination Rockefeller school system just
it's crazy.
Programming our mind from a very young age, and then of course when you're older, it's hard to let go of. But once you do, it's amazing.
Hey, I want to say something about my app. Those of you that have the app, and of those of you that might end up getting it if you want to learn about Flat Earth, because you can't learn about it just online, because Google won't feed you anything good. They'll give you all garbage, and then you'll give up going Flat Earth is stupid. But right now, people are saying the app doesn't work. The moon is gone. All you got to do is put the time lapse on, let it go around a few times. There's no moon on the app because at the date of this recording, there's no moon in the sky. Okay. Every month I get emails from people. My app doesn't work. The moon's gone. I've uninstalled it and reinstalled it 3 times and the moon is gone. Every month. It's been 3 years now. I mean, there's always new people, but you see, there's the moon. The sun laps the moon once every 28 days. And the moon, its position and its phase, keep track of the weeks and the months. There you go. Have you used the friend finder to meet any flat earthers near you?
I haven't met anybody, but I've checked it out. Yeah, that's a feature I was going to ask you to bring up actually.
Yeah, so this is showing all of the flat earthers that are near me. I could tap on any dot I want and send that person a message, or I can set my radius. Let's say I want to do a big meetup, set it for 50 kilometers. In that 50 kilometers, there's 258 people. I could send them a group message going Saturday, 2 p.m., 123 Main Street, Joe's Bar and Grill. We're having a meetup. Come on down. And they'll probably, I would guess more than 100 people would show up. It's crazy. Or you can set it for a smaller, hey, you want to just send to the people around you. Let's do 10 kilometers. 10 kilometers. I have 25 people. That's manageable. 25 people, and more of them will come because they're even closer. They're all within 10 kilometers. They're all a couple minutes away. So you send a message, and it's a fantastic way of meeting people. Now, you're a flat earther. You're aware of the jibby jab, the nonsense that's going on in this world. Hard to talk to normies, right? It's like we're surrounded by zombies. Well, absolutely. Every single blue dot on here is your best friend. Every single one, male or female, you have more in common with them than any dating site, any random meeting at a party, anything. More in common with them. Every one of them becomes your best friend. There's already people getting married on this. There's people that are new best friends. It's just people are doing instant meetups. Like I'm going to Mexico. And when I get there, I'm going to send out a radius thing. Hey, I'm going to be at the bar at the beach here and see how many people show up. All right. So it's cool. It's so cool to meet other like-minded people. And, this is where I live. I can hit the little flag and let's do United Kingdom, because that's always a good place. United Kingdom. And if you look at United Kingdom, there's dots everywhere. Right.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. It takes a second to load. Come on. And you can zoom in and find the people that are right near you. There's so many new relationships, and it's all about bringing people together, is what this whole thing is about. So that's what else? Oh yeah. And just an addition that's coming to the app. I'm adding a fourth button on the right here. It's going to be where you can add a profile. You can add your image, you can add about you can add all your social media web links. You could say, you fill out as much or as little information as you want, about yourself. And then you could say, hey, I'm interested in job opportunities, work opportunities, because guess what? Flat earthers only want to work for other flat earthers, and flat earthers hiring people only want to hire flat earthers. So this is the new LinkedIn of the flat earth community. Right? Because I can zoom in and say, you know what? I got a job, a local job, and I want to find somebody local. Well, I now know their location, and I know that they're smart because they figured out the globe is a lie. And I can reach out and say, hey, come on down. Let's meet for a beer. I've got some work if you're interested. Bam. And if you go to their profile, you can see that they checked off interested in work opportunities. Right? And flat earthers, I would say, are more honest than the average bear. I'm sorry. It is.
I would have to agree. I mean, they've opened their mind enough.
And there's honest people everywhere. Don't get me wrong. There's honest people everywhere. But any group of people, whatever group there is, flat earthers have the highest percentage of honest people. Maybe it's because we all can't deny the creator, and that kind of makes you like, oh, I'm being watched. I better be good. That probably has something to do with it. But that's coming. And then also what I'm adding is any new people, they'll have an orange dot for 60 days. That way, when a new one shows up in your area, you can be like, hey, there's a new person. Let me reach out. Hey, this is Dave. Welcome to Flat Earth. Well, we're having a little meetup over here. Bam, you can send them a personal message, make them immediately connection, because one flat earther is dangerous. Two flat earthers together is friggin' super dangerous, right? And when I say dangerous to normal thinking of insanity, right? It's dangerously going to wake you up to reality. Then you get 10 flat earthers together. Now you have an army that is not afraid of anything, right? So we need to all get together and do this stuff, and the app is making that possible. But here's another thing: there's critics out there going, the flat earthers they're all about, freedom, and this is a tracking app. Well, guess what? You can go into settings, scroll down to the widget switches, throw the switch for the friend finder, and it removes it from the app. So now you have the app the way it used to be without the friend finder, and you could live your solidarity, your what's the word for being alone? Solidarity?
Solitudely?
Whatever. You can live your lonely life, right?
Right.
And talk to your normie friends. But you have the ability to remove it completely. Also, if you're new and you don't want to stick out like an orange dot, you're like, I'm a little shy. You can turn that off too and just become a blue dot right away.
Very cool, man. I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of that feature in the near future.
And just real quick, the app is $3. I read the reviews if you're worried about the $3. Best friggin' $3 you ever spent. People would pay $50 for it, but I want everyone to have it, so it's $3. And then you get the friend finder. You can receive messages, like someone's having a meetup. They'll put the information. They usually put their email address in. No problem. You can't send messages unless you subscribe, and that's $11 a year. $11 a year. You ever buy anybody a margarita?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how long does that last? And it's not as healthy for you as a year subscription to the app. So that's already there. But the other things I was talking about, some of them are coming in the next week or two as soon as we finish programming it.
Cool, man. Definitely excited to check that out. Another thing on the app that I really like is that question mark. If anybody's doubting what we're talking about here tonight, if you have a question regarding, is NASA telling the truth though? You click on that question mark and your question will most likely be answered.
They're all there. Those are 21 questions. I'm actually going to add another row of questions soon. I'm just building up the list. You can scroll, like if you go to the other page, a lot of people don't realize you can scroll down now. I'm adding more and more rows, just like in the books section. There's tons of books now, and we're adding a lot of children's books. I remember I told you about the Iron Republic. That book is amazing. 16 emergency landings. We didn't get into emergency landings, but that one proves flat Earth. Flights really prove flat Earth. Airplanes flying over the Earth plane. If you're looking for flat Earth merchandise, the top left one is my t-shirt shop. The rest are other people selling other flat Earth stuff that are made by flat earthers. And if you have a product that is flat Earth related, let me know. You can put it on here for absolutely free. Okay.
Awesome.
And it links back to your stuff. This woman makes silver pendants. They're amazing. If you want to buy your lady friend a really, really nice flat Earth pendant, it's right there. Truth Smacks, which has been making the rounds. It's a nut mix, amazing nut mix with facts about flat Earth and other conspiracies on the back. There's just different types. And literally, it's like you're sitting there eating your nuts. You're like, what the heck is this? So you give it to your friend and basically you've truth smacked them. All sorts of stuff.
Truth smack them with your nuts. I love it.
Yeah, there you go. Someone's going to clip that. All right.
Yeah.
So, and then Chris Pontius, who makes these amazing bottles. If you want models, if you want something amazing for your home, they're not cheap, but they're worth it. They're literally one-of-a-kind masterpieces. Flat Earth domes, all different styles and kinds. Just check it out. Don't even go buy one. Just click the link and look at the stuff he's making. It's mind-blowing.
And this is not the same Chris Pontius from Jackass, correct?
I didn't know there was a Chris Pontius in Jackass, but absolutely not.
Okay,
right?
Cool.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, man, I love it. But yeah, man, we didn't even get into the flight routes. I mean, that's just another rabbit hole of proof that
in the app, if you hit the image buttons and you scroll down, we got all the flight routes that make no sense on a flat Earth. They're all here, right? If you look at them, they make no sense on a globe. They make perfect sense on a flat Earth.
Yeah, that's one compelling part of this whole topic that really interests me. I mean, why why don't we? Why do these planes make these weird detours and these weird stuff? You know?
Yeah. Airplanes fly straight and level over the Earth plane. That's all you got to remember. But again, the app has everything. The app bypasses the YouTube algorithms. And for anybody that thinks that flat Earth is stupid, take the Flat Earth app challenge. Every day there's a daily video right here. Comes out in the morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. And watch that every day for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, if you think the Earth is a globe, send me one proof and you win 3 Bitcoins. Okay, that's 150 grand right now. But before you do, you have to hit the question mark and make sure your question isn't answered there, which it probably is. And then when you realize, wow, I thought ships going over the horizon proved it, but obviously it doesn't. And so I got to try to find something else. And by the time you're ready to send me your globe proof, you'll be a flat earther and you'll realize you're not getting your Bitcoins, right? Because the Earth is not a ball. So check that out. And there's nobody, it's getting a lot easier. 5-6 years ago when I became a flat earther, man, that was rough. That was rough. When right now you become a flat earther and you mention it to somebody, instead of going, you're a fucking idiot, you're dumb, of course, and them attacking you, most people go, I heard something about that. I got a question, and they're willing to have the conversation, right? Yeah. They're willing to have the conversation. So, and I'm willing to have the conversation with those people. When I get a booking for somebody like yourself that says the Earth is flat and stationary, I'm like, okay, we'll have an interesting conversation. But when someone says they check off spinning globe, okay, I can't wait for that interview. So anybody that knows of any show, has anyone that has any audience that wants to have this conversation, you go to flatearthdave.com and my booking link is right at the top there. Book me for a show. Let's have a conversation. And, you too can lose the respect of your family and friends and become a flat earther.
Absolutely, man. I love it. I love it. Yeah, man. And that's what we're doing on this show, just opening people's eyes to the things that are going on around us. And reality is not what it seems. It's not what we've been told.
Right. All right, Evan.
Yeah, man. If you want to just tell our listeners where we could find more of you. I know you got Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole on YouTube.
Yeah, deep. Well, my YouTube channel is DITRH right here. There it is. DITRH. It's just the initials for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. All short videos right there. Everything. 5 minutes is a documentary for me. All my videos are really short. So you want to get somebody into it, go right there. Or in the app, if you click the web button, there's a DITRH button, and that'll bring you to my short list. It's a long list of short videos. And people like them. There's so many people that say they woke up to flat Earth after watching my videos, because if you're a baller, you don't want to watch a 2-hour movie, right, about flat Earth. That's stupid. Well, you'll watch a 1 minute or 2 minute or 3 minute or 5 minute video. And then after you watch a couple of those, you're like, all right, let me watch a 10-minute video. And the next thing you know, you're watching the Lost History of Flat Earth, which is 5 hours and 10 minutes. And you can't wait to see the next episode. All right. So once you understand that you don't live on a ball, life is more interesting. I was saying 5-6 years ago, it was tough. Now, when you become a flat earther, it's so much easier. And there's no flat earther, no matter when you became a flat earther, that goes, my life is worse. Nope, their life is better. Life is better because you start understanding the life that you're living, right? You start understanding what this place is and what your place within it is. So you can find me, DITRH on YouTube. You can find my podcast, the app link. If you can't scan this and you can't remember the name, Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, just go to flatearthdave.com. Flatearthdave.com. Links for the app are there. Links to book me are there. Links to some Flat Earth stuff is there. Links to the podcast are there. And if you want to learn more about any of these other topics that are not allowed on YouTube, go to stoplookthink.com. Stoplookthink.com. And your life as a normie will be over.
Absolutely, man. I love it. I love it. Thank you for coming on the show. Episode number 5. David Weiss, killing it with these truth bombs. We need to just keep pushing this movement and have people using their mind and rethinking what we've been taught, man. I want to thank you for being a guest on this show, and I'm sure this is going to be highly downloaded episode. And yeah, thanks for being a
Are you going to
member.
have a video version of this up?
I'm going to in the future be doing some
All
putting
right. So
the
this is just
video.
audio, right?
This is just audio
So
across all the podcasting
I'm gonna
platforms.
I'm gonna put it on the Flat Earth Dave interviews channel unlisted, and I'll give you the link to put in your description for anybody that wants to after they hear this. They'll be like, let me go see the visuals, and then they can click on it. All right.
Awesome, dude. I really appreciate that. And yeah, man, Occult 45, Evan D coming at you live and direct from Florida. Yeah, man, Dave, we will talk soon, man. Have a good one.
All right, Evan. Thanks.